Hey, welcome back, comic book community. This is your friendly neighborhood comic book nerd, Travis Grant, and today we're looking at Deadpool #1, Circle Chase. Man, I didn't have this as a kid, but I snagged this out of a dollar bin in STL Comics, and you know, it's kind of beat up, but hey, I'm happy to own it. It's just pretty cool. It's a pretty rad comic. It's like the first little Deadpool miniseries before he had a comic book, I believe. It has like a tough, hard back and a harder front to it. It's pretty cool, and it's embossed. It has like a raised. When you see how it's kind of embossed on it, you can still feel it. It's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. You got a little Deadpool right here. He's embossed on the cover too. It's a pretty neat comic. Circle Chase, round 1. And we open up and we have Meteor Man. I think I remember watching that one. I think I rented the VHS back in the day. I think it says Yugoslavia, Serviac Yugoslavia. They're at, and these mercenaries are in this whole. It's like a war that's been going on for 2 years, and these mercenaries are hunting down one man. They're talking about this guy they're hunting down, and I like this panel right here. I mean, it's pretty neat. You get all the mercenary guys, and they're ready to. They're doing the mercenary stuff. But they're hunting down this one man right here, and you got the mercenaries in the back. You got a guy in the background, middle ground, and foreground here. And he's like in an abandoned building, and he's looking out the slit. Got Deadpool's eye right here. It's really neat. I like it. I enjoyed that when I read it. And then you got boom, you got this big open 2-page spread here. It's awesome. I'm telling you, this is a really cool comic book. The guy's like, Deadpool? You know, question mark? He's like, Deadpool? That's you? And you know, he's like, no shit. It should be like, no shit, Sherlock, you know, but they don't say it, you know, Shalada Sherlock, you know. You know, he's just always, he's like, get all lined up like ducks in a row. You know, you're all gonna fall. He's got this dude in a headlock right here. And, you know, you got your gun right here, the mercenary's gun, and that's the guy, maybe that's the guy's shoulder, and his gun like that, and his other shoulder, and there's a guy behind him, and you got all these splinters flying. It's really cool. It's really cool. And this guy got kicked, and his visors and bullets casings are all around because it's coming out of his gun. He's blasting this poor sap. But, you know, they're not really showing blood and guts. It's just the flames of the gun coming out. But it's just pretty dang cool. And then on top of that, you got his katanas, you know, sticking out, and pouches. Gotta have the pouches right here, you know. It's a cool design. Deadpool always had a cool design. Even the mercenaries have pouches and look kind of cool with their armor and their shoulder pads and stuff. He's talking about, I think he was saying something about G.I. Joe. He's like, I've seen tougher G.I. Joes, not the ones with not the ones that the baby hair, the real life like hair and the kung fu grips. He said, I'm talking about the plastic hair and the scar on their face and the 10-inch tall G.I. Joe. He's like, these guys aren't even as tough as the old G.I. Joe toys. He's just beating the crap out of them. And he's like, come to think of it, I've seen Ken dolls tougher than you. Like Ken and Barbie. And oh man, I missed this the first time I watched it. I mean, I read it. He throws the little, what's that, the 3-ball thing, the ball of tang or whatever it is, and he throws it, gets it wrapped around the guy's foot, and he has his knife out. It doesn't, I guess he's shanking him right here, because it's shank, boom. And he's like, I've seen Ken dolls tougher than you. Oh, you I mean, take your pick. Modded hair Ken, disco Ken. And I like this panel right here. Like everything's kind of like a normal size panel, so they kind of have like a little bar right here. But then they have this panel right here, and he's kind of coming off. But he's talking about the Ken dolls. Summer fun Ken. I let Barbie whip me because I'm a wuss Ken. Because all you guys listen, are any of you guys listening to me? Like when he's fighting him, he's like, any of you guys even listening to me about these Ken dolls? You know, you guys ain't even talk. You know, he's just playing around. He's like, he's talking about, you know, you got all these guys beat up and killed that DeadPool. DeadPool got, oh sorry, I'm a little tired here. And he's making his way. He's talking about Tolliver here. I think he's talking about Tolliver. Yeah, just cause my ear, he said something like, "Yeah, cut his own ears off after hearing the name Tolliver." Is his last boss he had or something, and crushing I ever had, but crushing boss I ever had something. So the plot of Tolliver died. Somebody took Tolliver out, and they're all looking for Tolliver because he has a cache of guns or something, or riches, and they can get it. So he's coming down here to see this guy, and click, and he's like, click, clunk, and you know, he turns around, and there's some guy named Weasel. Weasel, I come all this way and you point a gun at me? I oughta, wait, is that you? He didn't know who it was. Who do you think it was? And then Weasel's like, I don't know. You know, he's like, I don't know. So they're in Weasel's like little basement lair, and you know, he's like, I love what you done to the place. He's like, hey, who else do you think is gonna come down here? He's like, well, my mom came down last week. And they're going back and forth about Tolliver, and he's reading this nudie mag. It's funny, and they're just going back and forth about all this crap, and let's see here. And he said, he's like, don't double cross me. You know that I know nothing short of a nuke will take you out, you know. He's talking about, he said, don't you double cross me on this. And he's like, don't stab me in the back with a knife. He's like, calm down, my boy. I know nothing but a nuke will take you out. And his, yeah. And then they're right. It's about to get rough. And they're like, who's this guy? And then is this, yeah. And then you get this cool page right here of the Whippin' X guy, and he has all the guns coming out, and that's pretty cool because I remember him fighting this dude in DeadPool. I mean, not DeadPool #2, but X-Force #2. I had the X-Force #2 comic, and I read it, and he was fighting Whippin' X guy too. You know, Whippin' X is taking you down, buddy. But that's a cool panel of him. He has a little glowing in the eye, and he's all the guns and stuff coming out. I enjoy it. I guess this was a D&D kind of futuristic game. You could Robotech or something. Ad for it. And then in the meantime, you get this thing in France, these scientists or whatever, and then Juggernaut shows up, and he's looking for Black Tom, his buddy. And then he meets this guy, and he's like, "Come on, I'll show you." And he's been instructed, and then this thing opens up. I guess it's opening up like a shutter or something. I don't know because he puts this key card in. And then you get to flash forward to this guy, and he's going nuts. We don't really know too much about him. Well, at least I didn't when I was reading the comic. And he's talking about how his brother was part of Tolliver's crew or something, and now he's part of the crew, and he's blasting. I kind of, I like the Juggernaut section. I like this section too, the shutter. You got this guy running in. You kind of, I guess he's bald on the top. It's kind of funny. He's got that comb over going on. And he's blasting. But I kind of like this page, the like, how it kind of reminds me kind of like the Jack Kirby Crackle a little bit, but it's not. And then how they did the around the gun blast and then the splatter. I don't know if they would have continued on with the splatter around with black outlines, a heavier black outline, it would have been cooler. I don't know. I kind of like it. I still like it though. I like how they did it. He's illuminated by the gun blast, so he's yellow. That's pretty neat. I enjoy it. So he's shooting the shreds out of these guys, and he's like, don't forget, boys, my family will be small, but we carry big guns. And then this guy shows up, and he's talking about Tolliver, and he gives him that, and he says, "Kill Deadpool. Deadpool I will kill Deadpool." He's gonna be after Deadpool too. And then we're going back to Whip and X, and they're fighting. And he's like, "You tell me what you need to know," and they're going back and forth. It's fun. I like this panel because it has the art, it breaks it up. It has different artwork of it. He has this shield thing. He's like, "There's been improvements to my hardware since the last time we've danced, Deadpool. So should I be impressed?" Deadpool said. He's like, "Where did these things come from?" And he's like, "Well, there's been improvements." And he's like, "So should I be impressed by it?" And he's like, "Idiots. Both of these guys are total fucking idiots." But I like the artwork. It's neat because I like he's even the perspective. He's jumping towards them, and the perspective of it. It's good. It's really good. It's not bad at all. I also like these panels right here are really. I like the background, how they did the little crackle, and it's white, and it's ting 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 ting. It's bouncing off his hand, and let's see how Deadpool, you punk, you in my memories, da da da. You've been full of yourself since we were pups back in the Whippin' X program. And then this is a neat panel too. I enjoy this 3. Doon, but it's like all this color around. You got these little things, and it's kind of the deals. I think that's really neat. I really do. I like that art right there. Even the cross thing, the different colorations of it is pretty neat. And his little eyes glowing, spot on. So Deadpool was shooting them. And ding, 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 the bullets. And he's like, "Hey, you lose these?" And he's like, geez, I hate myself. I want to rip your guts out. That's what they're fighting. And then, let's see right here. Care less about the Rumblings now. And you're singing cool. Here's a topic. Bionic Punk, who deserves to get beat up. Oh, he's saying something about sell it to Jesse Raphael. You know, it's like it was an old talk show, and then I told, now you're singing cool tune here. Here's a topic for Jesse Raphael. Bionic Punk deserves to get beat up and crack. He like, next on Sally. You know, it's kind of like a joke. It's a little joke. You'd have to be kind of around this time, because Jesse Raphael was like a Phil Donahue or Oprah or what's that guy that Jerry Springer kind of thing, you know, and you know, they're going back and forth, and he grabs him and flips him over, and he's talking about, oh, I do like this panel too. It's because it has the speed lines and he's coming at him. And then I like this panel too. Yeah. Funny, you're ironic considering what me and you, and yeah. But I do. His foot came down so, that's crazy. His foot came down so hard and it started busting out. That's gotta be some craziness right there. My foot has never landed so hard. You would think you would break your foot doing something like that. It breaks the ground right there. And so he was asking DeadPool all this time. He was like, "Where's Vanessa?" He wants to find Vanessa. And then he was like, "You keep Nessie out of this, and it's personal. You're just like a bloody nose. You gotta be wiped clean every once in a while." And then he's like, guys, what?" And then they turn, "What?" And he's like, "Do you guys even realize that not one of you has any information that you guys are both looking for?" And they're like, "What? He didn't say he wanted to kill, what, he didn't say he wanted to kill Vanessa." He's like, "No, you idiot. I said I wanted to find her." And it's just, the whole fight has been going on for just the silliness reason. I do like this panel right here of the green background into that. Well, guess what, girl baby? I don't know where she is either. But I like how even in the mask, they kind of convey, like, he raised his eye and he's like squinting a little bit in that one, and the face muscles and yeah, dude, that is neat. I like it. And you know, even in that, he has the eyebrow up and he's like, huh, you know? So I like it. And then you got that solid green panel, and then you got this green, a lighter green, and then like a darker green, and yeah, I dig it. I like the art in this. They did a really good job. And then you open up the page and you get a Batman video game. I remember the movie Batman Returns, and dude, Danny DeVito and the Penguin. Oh man, goodness, dude, that was he did a crazy job. Well, Tim Burton directed that, I think. And it was a crazy, crazy movie. Tim Burton in that Batman Returns. It's a wild comic book movie. And so he's going off to find Vanessa, and he's like, "I'm gonna kill her" or something. And he's like, he wants to kill her too. He's like, "Well, I'm gonna be the first to find Vanessa and kill her," or something. I don't even know why they're trying to find Vanessa and kill her. Maybe, I don't know. But then we get this next section, and we get this guy coming through here, and you're like, "What's going on?" You know, this guy. He's like, "Stop! I kind of like this panel too. I don't care. This is kind of lame. You know, it's just a normal in the out. You know, it's just like a big complex kind of thing. But I like this panel. It's like the sheer terror in the guy, and then you see oh man, that was that guy. That guy's surprised look when the guy turned around and got him. Yeah, man, I like that panel. That's pretty cool. Shadow Run, never played it. It's probably cool. It was probably a cool game back in the day, but I don't know. Then we're back to this guy and the mysterious dude. And then you find a little bit more about him. He's going into a classified thing, and what's going on with this thing? He like has a metal like shank thing coming out, and he pries the door. His big vault door open, so he must be super powerful or something. And then you get the Weapon X program. But Kane Garrison was that Weapon X guy, and Wade Wilson, you know, because they were both in the Weapon X program. And he says, Slayback is alive again. Let the killing begin. You know, because I guess he's going after these two guys. Slayback, I guess. Never heard of him. Maybe he's a dude. And so he's like, look, he's looking for Tom Cassidy again. We go back to this, and Juggernaut's like, whoa, what's going on? You know, I this guy's such a weird smile on his face, and then they have just these grins. But I like that Juggernaut surprised, and he's like, Tom, and he's like, well, just ask him for yourself. And he's like, Tom, and then you see Black Tom Cassidy. I don't know what happened to Black Tom Cassidy before, but they're saying he was riddled with bullet holes when we got him. And then they're Kane, my boy, is that you? Because you know he's Irish, and you know it's great, you know. And he's like, yeah, Tom, it's me. You know, I found you, okay? He's like, aye, friend, you felt better. Never felt better. I feel better. Never feel ever. Filler, I will. You know, I mean, gosh, I can't do it in the Scottish accent, the Irish accent, or whatever you'd say. It's poorly done. But then you get him. He's like, it's like to be. You know, he has this technical kind of thing in his. I guess he's kind of healing up, but he has more craziness going on, I guess, because they were experimenting on him or something. I don't know. But the next issue, Black Tom and the Juggernaut in the chase for Tolliver's will, I guess they will run head into plus Slayback, the Executioner, and Vanessa. And this is a neat little, never seen them before. You know, you got DeadPool, and you know, this is neat stuff. I enjoyed this comic. It's pretty cool. For $1? Heck yeah, man. Pick it up. If you ever find this comic for $1, pick the dang thing up. I'm kind of wanting to get the other parts of it now after I've owned this thing and I read it. And I kind of want part 2, 3, and 4 of this series to see what the heck's going on, you know. I'm just doing this because, you know, Deadpool movie came out, and maybe some people have this in their comic book collection, but they never even opened it up. Or maybe somebody has a slab of this and they can't read it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, hit that like button, and love you, bye.